Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeremy Thompson.
Really what's happening here is the sporting bodies like Skate Canada are protecting their athletes.
Tonight on CTV News, Alberta unsafe. The national figure skating body will not host major events in our province, citing a new law on transgender athletes. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Skate Canada says our province will be left out of future national and international level events because of the Alberta Fairness and Safety in Sport Act. The law restricts transgender athletes from participating in female-only sports. Skate Canada says it is unable to host events in the province while maintaining its standards for safety and inclusivity. The decision applies only to national and international level events. In a statement, Alberta Sport Minister Andrew Boychenko says provincial rules keep girls safe and competitions fair. Alberta Senator and 2S LGBTQ advocate Chris Wells says the law harms trans athletes, which is why the government preemptively invoked the notwithstanding clause of the Constitution to prevent legal challenges.
There's no science behind the UCP's ban of trans athletes. In fact, if they were so confident in the legislation, they would have allowed it to go to court.
It does not affect Alberta athletes' ability to participate in Skate Canada programming and competitions. No upcoming national or international events are scheduled to be held in Alberta. A snowfall warning is in place for Edmonton and the surrounding area. To prepare, the city has issued a parking ban for major roads and bus routes starting tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. CTV's Merrick Takash has more on the preparations underway ahead of the dump of snow.
It's been a busy month for snow and ice removal companies.
I've been doing this since 2008. This stretch in December has probably been one of the hardest stretches as a company that we've had, for sure.
Temperature swings have led to a difficult few weeks for crews.
We've had 3 freezing rain events already in December, which is unheard of, really. Typically, we get 1 or 2 of those in a whole season, and we've had 3 over the last 14 days.
Meaning rock chips and ice melters have been used more than usual.
We've gone through, to give you an idea, over 200,000 pounds of ice melt in the last week alone. Okay, I don't know how many elephants that is, but it's a lot of elephants.
While the ice has been the problem lately, snow is on the way. Heavy snow is expected throughout the day Wednesday.
How much, sorry?
20 centimeters.
Oh, that's too much, you know. It's scary.
Are you nervous at all?
No, not at all, no. It's just is what it is.
I'm from East Coast, buddy. We used to have like 30, 35, 40, 45 centimeters of wet snow. That snow here, there's nothing.
The city says take it slow and stay safe.
As always, take your time, give yourself a little bit extra time to get to work or wherever you're going. And as always, give our crews room to work and we can get those roads as clear as possible for you.
Both city and private crews will likely be hard at work come early Wednesday morning.
It's going to be definitely the worst snow of the season thus far. And people should just be prepared to probably cancel their travel plans tomorrow.
Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Police are looking for the driver of a pickup truck involved in a multi-vehicle hit and run that sent 5 young people to hospital. It happened just after 9 a.m. on 132nd Avenue and 86th Street. Police say the driver of the Dodge truck hit a Honda CR-V carrying 4 teens who attend O'Leary High School. Their vehicle was pushed into another with a woman and child in the car, which then struck 2 parked vehicles. 1 teen suffered serious injuries while the others were treated in hospital with minor injuries. The truck is described as an early 2010s black Dodge Ram with front-end damage, and anyone with information is asked to call EPS. Edmonton police are throwing their support behind the city's bid to bring back photo radar. The province is reviewing requests to reactivate speed on green cameras at 2 of the more than 80 intersections equipped with the technology. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
Over the past year, Edmonton police have been working without an important partner on the roads.
If people are aware that there's a chance that they're going to get a ticket, I would like to think that most people are going to change their behavior, change their driving pattern when they're driving in an area that is susceptible to automated enforcement.
These cameras still capture and send tickets to vehicles that run red lights, but provincial regulations that took effect in January meant having to deactivate catching speed violations.
Feels like because of the lack of consequences, people are choosing to drive more dangerously.
Data from the city shows an 87% increase in the number of people going 20 to 30 kilometers over the posted limit. Police are seeing a similar trend.
We're still seeing an uptick in more aggressive driving, and what we're seeing is an increase in 50 plus violations, 30 plus violations.
We are at the highest number of fatalities this year since Vision Zero was adopted in 2015.
The province is currently reviewing requests to reactivate the speed on green at 2 problem intersections in Edmonton.
These are real lives being lost. It doesn't need to be this way, especially when the tools exist.
When we look at the criteria, many of our intersections will still meet those requirements, but we do have to put together the business cases to bring it back.
With more than 80 intersection safety devices, the city says there will be more requests submitted, a move police believe will make a big difference.
The automated enforcement can also be there all the time, and it can be there in a place and can sometimes control driving behaviors when we don't have that capacity to do manned enforcement.
Police say the solution doesn't just lie with cameras and enforcement, but drivers too.
We all play a role in that, and we just need to do better.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province says Albertans are in support of higher speed limits on some highways. More than 59,000 people responded to a government survey about upping the speed limit to 120 kilometers an hour on certain roads. The transportation minister says 68% of people who responded support the move. 90% supported restricting commercial trucks from using certain highway lanes. The minister says the province will choose rural divided highways for the trial next year. The province has put a daycare in St. Albert on a probationary license. In a press release, a government spokesperson says the St. Albert Daycare Centre at 6 Cunningham Road has had ongoing compliance issues with provincial standards, including supervision. The Ministry of Education and Childcare is imposing a safety plan to ensure adequate supervision for children at the centre. Daycare staff have until March 13th next year to meet provincial standards, or the license will be revoked. The federal government has announced new plans to tackle methane pollution in Canada's oil and gas industry.
These new enhanced oil and gas regulations are designed to significantly cut methane emissions by over 304 megatons from 2028 to 2040.
The federal environment minister says new landfill regulations will also cut 100 megatons of emissions by 2040. In a statement, Alberta Environment Minister Rebecca Schultz acknowledged the new rules, saying as part of last month's MOU between Alberta and Ottawa, a, quote, methane equivalency agreement is to be completed by April. She says the government will focus on practical and flexible methane reduction solutions. And support for new pipelines from Alberta is climbing, according to a new poll. The Montreal Economic Institute and Ipsos survey shows 75% of Canadians support the construction of a new pipeline to the East Coast or British Columbia. That's up by 14 points compared to last year. It also found 71% of Canadians find the approval process too long. Pollsters say the tariff war is a factor in the high support, among other aspects. More than 1,100 Canadians were surveyed between November 27th and December 2nd. The pollster says the results are accurate within 3.5 percentage points, 19 times out of 20. The Stollery is changing the way it celebrates treatment milestones with cancer patients, moving away from bell-ringing ceremonies in hospital. It's a tradition on many cancer units for patients to ring a large bell to celebrate the shift from treatment to recovery. The ritual often involves family and friends. During the pandemic, staff at the Stollery reassessed the bell-ringing tradition and found it can expose vulnerable patients on the unit to germs and can also be insensitive to patients who are not at the recovery phase of their cancer journey.
Some families really, again, they really love the bell ringing, but there are others that really don't, and it is a trigger for them. And so how do we just not make it as kind of a standard thing that happened, but how do we actually change it to be more customized and meaningful for those individuals?
Now, patients are given a small bell to take home with them through a partnership with the Kids with Cancer Society. That organization still offers patients the big bell at its facility. Families can also request to ring the big bell at the Stollery, but now it happens away from the cancer unit. Well, if you're trying to stretch your dollar this Christmas, you may be considering a buy now, pay later plan. But one university professor has a warning about potential downfalls. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson reports.
With less than 10 days until Christmas, it's peak spending time. But experts caution falling prey to buy now, pay later plans that might have you stretching your wallet.
If we take the price of an item and divide it into installments, there's a psychological difference to what people are spending, so they don't realize it, but often they actually end up spending more than they would otherwise. They're more likely to buy an item.
Bierman adds there's often an emotional component to spending.
One of the most under-realized aspect of financial problems is this. People feel like they don't matter. People feel like they're less than other people. And I think that needs to be taken into account, that when people use buy now, pay later, when they take out payday loans, what they're trying to do is show that they're still a functional human being in society.
The average Albertan plans on spending over $1,500 on gifts, travel, and entertainment this holiday season. That's down 8% from the year before, according to PwC Canada's Holiday Outlook.
Given the what's going on in the economy, I think that discretionary spend is being compressed. They are spending, but they are being cautious, looking at things like, where there's promotions and different types of discounts that they can make use of to help stretch their dollars for the holidays.
Some of those heading into Chinook were divided on their shopping plans.
I'm spending a lot on myself this year, so I think I'm prioritizing myself, because other years I tend to prioritize other people, so this year I'm prioritizing myself.
We're on a budget, right? So, because we're seniors. Everybody gets something, it's just cutting down a bit.
As we're all shelling out Christmas cash, sometimes it's important to remember the best memories are often from the intangible joys of the season. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
A basic yet eye-catching Christmas display has been set up in North Edmonton. One large red ornament hanging from a roadside tree. As CTV's Matt Woodman reports, it's a nod to a classic Christmas movie and a tribute to family.
When it comes to Christmas decorating, over-the-top displays like Clark Griswold's usually get all the accolades. For the past 2 years, though, this simple yet significant ornament hanging from a tree on 58th Street is getting some attention of its own.
I like that it's quite festive. It definitely brings a sense of cheer to the neighborhood. I don't know who puts it up at all. It just shows up.
Everybody seems to love it.
Sean Kearns is the one who hangs the solo sphere.
I like to put it up at night so it's a surprise in the morning when people see it.
He does it in late November before his parents visit from Nova Scotia.
And I always like to put it up so Mom can see it. Growing up, my mom's favorite Christmas holiday movie was Charlie Brown Christmas.
Kearns says this tree has the perfect lean to replicate one of the movie's most iconic scenes.
I've killed it. I didn't pull it down or anything. This is normally what the tree looks like. It's not under any stress by the ornament.
Getting it up there takes some patience and lasso-like skills.
You just kind of wing it around until you let her go and it flies up and over the top. It took me, a half dozen tries to get it where it is.
While last year's big red ball disappeared after a few days, this one appears to be anchored firmly in place.
Hopefully the Grinch doesn't find this one.
Kearns doesn't plan to go over the top or channel Chevy Chase's character anytime soon.
It doesn't need anything else, unless I could get a big blue blanket to go around the bottom, of course.
Maybe it just needs a little love.
A classic Christmas connection, spreading a little love to his family and community.
When we come back, a secluded piece of Rocky Mountain history set to reopen to hikers. And later, a woman who makes dolls with different skin tones and disabilities gets to see the impact they make with the kids they represent.
It makes my heart melt. I wasn't expecting that, such love that they have towards the dolls.
Good evening, folks. It is going to be an ugly day on roads tomorrow. All kinds of advisories in place. Extreme cold across the north. For us here in Edmonton, a snowfall warning, 10 to 20 centimeters likely, and that will come combined with some gusty winds, so blowing snow will be an issue as well. We'll talk more about all of this in a little more detail in just a few minutes.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
An Alberta company that specializes in dolls featuring different ethnic backgrounds and disabilities is donating to a worthy cause. CTV's Kevin Fleming reports.
She's making a visit to the Prep Society to see how the children here are playing with the 15 dolls she donated. Andale Fupa is the owner of BU Kids that specializes in multicultural and inclusion-based dolls. She's also an early childhood educator who works with children with special needs.
It makes my heart melt. I wasn't expecting that, such love that they have towards the dolls and the joy that they had as well in their faces. So. Yeah, just seeing themselves and their friends in those toys.
Fupa started the company when she couldn't find an African doll for her niece and struggled to find any ethnic dolls. Now she sells a variety of them.
And then there's some with vitiligo, albinism, and all ethnicities and skin tones that represent Canada.
The Prep Society is an organization that provides services and programs for individuals with Down syndrome from birth well into their teens. Nicole McFarland works with children of all ages here and says the dolls are having a positive impact.
Representation is huge, and I think that that's so positive for our kids to see dolls like them exist in the world, and they exist in the world, and then it's just part of the world, and they're not different in that sense. It's just a doll.
Curtis Slater runs Prep and is grateful for the donation.
A lot of the staff have said, from the second the dolls arrived and they got kind of put into the classrooms, the kids just gravitated towards them. So they're being used in our early learning program, in our ECS program, and in our therapy services as well.
Fupa says she's even noticed a difference in her niece once she received a doll that looked like her.
I wanted her to love the skin that she's in. And I see that she's growing up to be a very confident girl right now.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
A boarded-up backcountry lodge in Yoho National Park, which once attracted guests from around the world, is expected to reopen for tourism soon. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
A 9-kilometer hike in Yoho National Park leads you to this National Historic Site, which has been boarded up for 5 years, but now has a new operator and is expected to reopen for tourism.
The Twin Falls is a beautiful little spot. Absolutely excited to be a part of its future.
Canadian Pacific Railway built Twin Falls Chalet in 1908 as a hiking destination for rail travelers. Parks Canada owns it, but leases it to operators for a cut of the profits. Since 1962, Fran Drummond had been running it as a tea house, cooking meals and hosting overnight guests with no electricity or plumbing. She was revered for her passion and dedication, but Parks said she was no longer meeting the terms of the agreement, so ended it in 2019.
She's a very important part of the history of the park and history of the tea house. We got to a point where she was no longer able to continue and have meet the requirements of a license of occupation, and that's when we transitioned to seeking a new operator.
Parks wanted it to continue operating as a tea house, but the new group chosen to run it realized that wouldn't be feasible.
Foot traffic is around 50 people per day, which does not provide enough opportunity or traffic for enough revenue to operate it.
Instead, Alpine Club of Canada is now preparing to offer it to visitors as a hut. That means no staff and guests bring their own food and bedding.
You need to collect your water and treat it to make sure you can drink it. You prepare your own food, and everyone helps clean and take care of the facility.
The club also plans to install solar power and find a way to commemorate the chalet's history.
Have the opportunity to not only experience the wilderness, experience the nature, but at the same time, walk into a piece of Canadian history. That is the type of experience that we know a lot of visitors really cherish.
Alpine Club of Canada operates 2 other National Historic Sites in Yoho National Park and says since Twin Falls sits between them, it will give guests a unique opportunity.
It's going to create our first hut-to-hut traverse experience.
The goal is to open for guests in August of 2027. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
After the break, boom goes the dynamite. A local high schooler gets national attention for his creative slam dunk.
It was so epic. It's a little bit strange to have a bunch of eyes, but it's pretty cool.
Wednesday on Your Morning Edmonton. What happens in the brain to make us love sparkly holiday lights and wintry smells? Plus, we catch up with the winners of Traders Canada and MasterChef Canada.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Help us build a mountain of toys. Donate today at ctvedmonton.ca.
Welcome back. Minus 16 this morning, minus 7 for a daytime high this afternoon. So pretty close to average. All in all, not a bad day, especially compared to tomorrow. Cold warning across the north, wind chill in the minus 40s. Snowfall warning from Edmonton off to the northwest towards Grand Prairie and then southwest of the city. In general, 10 to 20 centimeters of snow. Some spots, maybe even a bit more than that. And then there's an even higher likelihood that areas off to the southeast of Edmonton see more than 20, potentially upwards of 30 centimeters of snow. And in this purple zone, not only do you have the chance for some heavy snow, there's also a freezing rain risk at the southern edge of it and some really gusty wind. In Edmonton, wind gusts will be to about 30 or 40 kilometers per hour, so blowing snow will be an issue in the city and surrounding areas. In this purple zone and in the blue zone, where you have a blowing snow advisory, wind gusts could be 60 to 90 kilometers per hour. You, at times, will have near blizzard conditions in through these areas, especially midday and through the afternoon. And then across the south, you have a yellow wind warning for most areas. And then there's also a stepped-up orange level wind warning for areas around Lethbridge, especially west of Lethbridge. Wind gusts could be upwards of 120 to 130 kilometers per hour. Let's give you a timeline on this storm. This is early tomorrow morning. Looks like there's still no snow in Edmonton about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. It will already be falling in the northwest and across the south. There's your risk of some freezing rain. By the time we hit the morning commute, snowing and blowing. Gusty wind already and some snow in the area, and the heaviest of the snow comes through for Edmonton south towards Red Deer midday tomorrow. Then that pushes off to the east. By about supper time, most of the snow is done, and by tomorrow night, looks like that snow's completely out of Alberta. Here's the heaviest snowfall is expected to fall from around Edmonton off to the east and southeast into that Vermilion-Lloydminster area and south. Temperatures tomorrow morning around minus 28 in Fort McMurray, minus 21 for Grand Prairie, minus 8 in Red Deer, but colder in the afternoon. A lot of spots are going to see temperatures fall tomorrow. There's the snow that's falling heavily at times across the northwest, and then later in the day in through east central Alberta. Here in the city, minus 17 by tomorrow afternoon. Wind chill in the mid-minus 20s all day. Heavy snow to go along with the wind. More snow on the way for Thursday night. That could be a couple centimeters worth. And then the deep freeze returns for Friday and the weekend. That is your forecast.
A local high school student is being recognized nationally for his creative entry in a dunk competition. CTV's Sasha Petramala reports on the teen of many talents.
Jordan Hunter has talents on and off the court.
Piano is like my second passion. I fill my time with basketball and piano. I've always loved it.
During the opening ceremonies of the Jasper Place Dunk Contest, Hunter sang and played a song mashup on the piano.
Great to do that part and just show the kind of the softer side of me, I guess.
That part didn't last long. He soon laced up his shoes for competition, and one shot made all the difference. That's Hunter's winning shot.
The fact that he went from singing and performing a piano medley and singing in the opening ceremony to throwing down a dunk like that was amazing.
His dunk soon spread across social media, including a post from TSN. A local videographer captured the unforgettable moment.
500K, 800K, it kept going up in views every single minute. And it felt very rewarding for me.
Hitting that dunk and getting swarmed was epic. It was so epic. It's a little bit strange to have a bunch of eyes, but it's pretty cool.
Jordan Baker was one of the dunk contest judges. The head coach and president of the Edmonton Stingers only gave Hunter a 9 out of 10.
Luckily, the camera doesn't pan to show the judges and what they graded it. With the way that the crowd and everyone reacted, I think everyone knew that was going to be the winning dunk, so I kind of come out unscathed. It didn't have any impact on the final result.
If things pan out for Hunter, he hopes either one of his talents will take him places.
Of course, it's everybody's dream to play university. For piano, I'd love to go to university, play piano as well.
It took Hunter 5 tries before he nailed his shot, but he proved his slam dunk was no shot in the dark. Sasha Petramala, CTV News, Edmonton.
And that does it for this edition of CTV News. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.